gonna make something new every day for a week because I'm tired of being uninspired, and my perfectionism is making me second guess everything that I've been making. In short, I just miss creating for fun. The rules are simple. 1, each day I'm gonna make a new mini creative project. Ideally, I'm gonna finish each one within that day. No pressure to make it perfect. 2, I'm gonna use at least 3 different mediums. I'm a graphic designer, so I don't wanna be using Photoshop and Illustrator every single day because I do that anyway. And 3, the most important rule of all, to have fun. Day 1, I was ready to go. I got this book full of cute designs in business card dimensions, and I felt inspired to make a little card about everything I did on Wednesday. My current favorite font is Clarendon. It's free on Adobe. I love it. I didn't feel like illustrating, so I grabbed some photos. Usually I just look up stock images on Adobe Express, remove the background, bring it into Illustrator, and play around with it. In this case, I image traced them and made them all one color. I think this in itself would be a really cool challenge, just 7 days of business cards. I might actually do this one day. It was really fun, and it's a good exercise in composition and layout and just reflecting on what you did that day. The day doesn't even have to be that eventful. I literally went for a walk and cooked some ground turkey. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's 4:30 and day 1 is finished. I made a business card describing my day. Usually when I'm in the mood to make something, I end up making many different things, exploring many different styles, and then I kind of like shelve whatever is unused and unfinished for a later project. I think of it as like a playground, and you just have a lot of different things you're toying with, different ideas, and it's just like a very safe place to explore anything you want. If you look at any of my design files that aren't for clients and are just solely for me, they're a mess. It's literally just like all of my ideas that I happen to have in that moment on that day in one file. It was nice to be able to like explore and play, but I also feel like a lot of the things I was making just like weren't hitting, and that was really frustrating. But the whole point of this is to just kind of like remind myself that it's not about the end goal, it's about like the journey and having fun. And if I'm always just setting out to make something for the sake of it being good, that's lame, you know? Day 2, I was feeling crafty. I wanted to make a little zine, and it's quite easy. All you need is a piece of 8.5 by 11 inch paper to get started, fold it in half, hot dog or hamburger style, then keep folding it in half until the paper is folded into 8 sections. Then cut the middle section, open it up, fold it like so, and you have a zine to work with. You can draw directly on it, but today I was in the mood to collage. I have a good selection of vintage and modern magazines that I thrifted and collected. You can get a lot from Goodwill or used bookstores. I picked up my vintage ones in Berkeley. I read somewhere that adulthood is just realizing that 12-year-old you was onto something, and I couldn't agree more. I used to collage and make little crafts just for fun all the time back then, and I don't know why I ever stopped. This was so fun. I'm in my bedroom because day 3, I decided I want to make a little anniversary gift for me and Sinjin, and Sinjin's working in the other room, so don't want him to hear this. I've been seeing a lot of these really cute frames on Pinterest, and I'll take a photo of us from each year and then try to collage it, and maybe in like a black and white fashion, and then put 8 different versions of us from each year into a cool composition. I'm slightly inspired by yesterday's collaging session, so I printed these out on 8 by 10 inch pieces of paper and had ordered some frames ahead of time. I just went to my local print store, Copy Central, and printed out 5 different versions because I really couldn't decide what I wanted. But these prints were less than $1 each, and the frame itself was $9, so it was a pretty cheap gift. Rich in love though. So I have this rule on the weekends where I am not allowed to work on my computer, so in keeping with that rule, I kept it classic with paper and colored pencils. Sinjin wanted to go to the driving range, and I love going with him because it's a nice change of scenery. Normally I just bring a book, but this time I sketched. I like drawing little people, so this was a really good exercise in poses and composition. I'm so used to being able to Command Z or position objects around in Illustrator however I want, so actual drawing was a little bit of a challenge, but also really peaceful and fun. I'm not gonna lie to you, Sunday was hard because I really didn't want to do anything. My friend Katie just moved to SoCal and we went to some really cute stores and museums, and I was out all day, and when I got home I was just like, ugh, I gotta make something. But it was a very artsy and cute time, and I soaked up a lot of inspiration. It was kind of a good reminder that art can really be anything. It's not just amazing, intricate paintings that require a lot of effort. The mediums and formats are endless, and instead of feeling daunted by all of this really cool work, I was reminded that art can be whatever you want it to be. So I got out the trusty new sketchbook and used my new pen that I bought from Paper Plant Co. that day, and I just drew some cats. It took like 10 to 15 minutes, and it was low pressure, low effort, really relaxing. I would recommend. It's Monday, and I feel like I did a lot of different things. I don't know if this counts or not, but I did finish my website for Framer because I'm doing a little brand deal with them, but I'm still proud of it, so I'm gonna show it to you. You know me, and you know how I love recapping things. I think I just like to fight against the fleeting nature of memory, so I did one for the summer, and I wanted to remember everything I did and what I learned, so I made a website. I found this template on Framer, and it had this really cool cursor image trail that I really wanted to do with my photos. I also made overlays, so when you hover over each photo, some pop-up text will tell you about the photo. And I did like a little cute scrolling animation as well, so yeah, it was easy, it was fun. I really liked one of the cats that I drew yesterday, and I thought I would digitize it, so I image traced it and I added some texture to it by like using the rough-in effect in Illustrator. And then I played around with some colors and textures, and I am kind of obsessed with those posters that I see on Pinterest where it's like kind of like childish drawings and like, you know, handwritten text, and you're playing around with composition and scale. So I wanted to do one of those. And I also like literally hand wrote and then image traced that into Illustrator. So a lot of image trace today. It kind of goes against everything that I usually do. It was kind of fun to make something that wasn't really my 100% style. I'm a little bit more maximalist when it comes to designs, I feel, but I don't know. It was fun. Despite my best efforts in wanting to diversify mediums, especially for the last day, I did end up making a poster. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I did have a pretty outrageous grocery haul recently, and I might make a poster about that. But 2 posters in a row, I don't know. I guess I really was not in the mood to draw on Illustrator this week because I either did crafts or I image traced. I think image trace gets a bad rap because you're not technically doing the work, whatever, but hear me out. I think using this tool, especially for something like designing your grocery haul, is an excellent design challenge. I don't recommend just image tracing a photo and calling it a day. I think the magic is in the little changes you make. I like to think about how the colors of each object play together while still staying kind of true to its original palette, so there's a lot of color theory and reworking involved. But really, if you clown on someone for using the image trace tool for fun, you're the clown. You know, God forbid someone have a little fun. I also think it's a great exercise in deciding what details are important to keep and what's okay to be left out or simplified. It also really makes you consider layout. Where should you put these objects in relation to one another? I also brought these into Photoshop and really brought the colors to life with added textures, and I really liked how these turned out. Some reflections. I had a lot of fun doing this challenge, which was the goal. For the people in a creative rut or just feeling really burnt out, I recommend this especially for you. Some days I put more effort into the challenge than others, and that is completely okay. The goal is just to make something every day. It doesn't have to be good. If I could change one thing, I think I would put less pressure on myself to finish the piece within the day. I know that kind of defeats the purpose of fighting perfectionism, but I realize that I do like to spend more than one day on a project, and, you know, just adding in some final details and tweaks can make a big difference for me. Maybe I'd give myself like 2 days per project if I could do it over again. If you're someone who struggles with starting things and then just never finishing them, maybe the 1-day rule would be good for you. And if you're just starting out in your creative journey, I would definitely say keep the 1-day rule for sure. In the beginning phases, I think it's always quantity over quality. Just get used to the act of making stuff and don't let perfectionism get in the way. I loved rule number 2. I really liked trying different mediums. I would highly encourage everyone to try out at least 3. A lot of the times I found myself getting inspired by the previous day, especially on the days I worked in a different medium. An afternoon of collaging and playing with magazines made me think about different ways to lay out photos for my anniversary gift. A little doodle of a cat became a poster. Trying different things rewired my brain and made me excited to create again. I was more focused on making something new and less focused on the way people would perceive it. If you want to do this challenge, I would suggest just making rules that will set you up for success. Just tailor it to your preferences. Document it, don't document it, do whatever you want. The most important part is that you just enjoy it. Okay, well, I had a great time doing this, and I hope you liked watching it. I'll talk to you soon, sending you a big hug.